Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk. We're actually a full minute early tonight, which almost never happens. I had one other time that I was actually early hopping on, and it was kind of like a miracle thing. So, Katrina, your good luck. Thank you for that. We're here tonight with Katrina from Cuts for Survivors. I met Katrina on social media. So when people tell you that there is nothing good that comes from social media, that is not true. There are amazing things that come from social media. So I am going to let her introduce herself and tell you just a little bit about her organization and what it is that Cuts for Survivors does. So take it away, Katrina.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Katrina. I started a nonprofit organization called Cuts for Survivors about 9 months ago. Cuts for Survivors is here to provide resources for survivors of cancer, lupus, multiple sclerosis, and domestic violence. I have resources from wigs for people who experience hair loss to gift bags to workout classes and makeup classes.
I love
Also,
the workout classes.
thank you. Thank you. I forgot to mention we do have a private support group.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So, what made you start this group? Like, what happened that led you down this path? Because I feel like anybody who does something like what you do, what I do, what other guests I've had on do, there's always some pivotal life occurrence that brings us to this point, and we're like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So, what was
Yeah.
it for you?
Starting off experiencing domestic violence. When I wanted to help, I volunteered to like help out at a domestic violence shelter. But around that time, I just don't think I was ready because I had just experienced it. So I didn't get a chance to learn from it. I was still in that stage of why did this happen to me kind of phase. But now I'm like, now I see why it happened to me so that I can help other people later, so that it can make me stronger to be able to help other people who are not that strong. So later on, my pastor did the 5 W's and the H, which is when, where, why, who, and so forth, and how. And I was like, man, I know that I'm supposed to help survivors, and I've been putting this off for years. So, one day I was praying, I was laying in my bed, and then it came to me like, help survivors with your gift. And my gift, being a cosmetologist and a cosmetology instructor, and I specialize in cutting hair. So I was like, why don't I do free haircuts? And it just went from there as far as adding different survivors. And
Nice.
the cancer survivors took over. uh, yeah.
Too funny. Too funny. I love what you do. So as you know, I'm preaching to the choir here because you know that I've been following you for probably as long as you've been on social media. I think that I came across you right after you started your group, and your the fact that you advertise domestic violence obviously is what caught my eye, and probably why Meta allowed you to cross my algorithm because we're birds of a feather. But then you also spoke on multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
And this is a point that I like to make when we do these types of things. This is why it's important that we tell our stories and we share the things that we're going through, because you never know how what it is you've been through, what it is you're going through is going to impact somebody who's just now setting out to navigate that. And I firmly believe, and I know you do too, because we've had this conversation previously, that we're here, our purpose, we're meant to help other people. And so when we have those things inside of us, we're doing a disservice to our fellow man if we don't use those things. So with that being said, you had mentioned multiple sclerosis, and my sister has MS. And she was going through a period of time where she was really struggling with relapses and flare ups and not getting the medical attention that she needed. And I reached out to you, made the introduction in a bossy big sister kind of way between the two of you. And you were instrumental in getting her to take my advice, listen to me, and get on another path with a new healthcare provider. How
Yeah.
often do you find yourself in that situation, not just with MS or domestic violence, but with multiple things?
I have found myself in that situation multiple times. Um, I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in God, and when I'm out in public, God speaks to me and say, talk to that person. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. They're going to think I'm odd. We're in the bathroom. And it's like, talk to them. So then I talk to them and they're like, and I tell them, that I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And they're like, two of my nieces have MS. And I'm like, oh my goodness, so it happens so many times. And the reaction that I get from people, I'm like, I know this is what God wants me to do. I know. Like no one else
Yeah.
can tell me different, like, oh, she's just doing that because of whatever. Like I know this is what I'm supposed to do. Like being able to impact so many people, I didn't think I was even capable of doing it. So
Oh my gosh, you're more than capable. I see the things you do. You've added so many new things to your just your overall presence on social media as of late with the morning workout. What started that? Because I am in love with that. Like I'm at work when you do it, but for those people that are able to hop on and do that with you, that's amazing. Like what started that? Where did that come from?
honestly, me being on a different social media platform and seeing my fellow MSers being very down and just like being like more negative and just sounding hopeless. And I was like, man, I got to do something, like, I got to do
Yeah.
something, to boost them up so they can realize that they can do things even if they can't walk. I have it customized to where they can do the workout routine in a chair or a wheelchair. So that really influenced me. But anyone can join the workout class, the makeout class. It don't matter what your diagnosis is. So that's the good part about it.
I love that about your organization, that there is an element of inclusivity, and I am so here for that. I am a big fan of everybody being included regardless. And when you stop and think about it, I was thinking about this earlier today when I was thinking about the questions that I was going to ask you and how this conversation was going to go, and I was thinking to myself, we're all survivors of something, because you get to a certain point in life where you've dealt with something. You've been dealt a hand that you didn't necessarily see coming, and you've had to pull from this reserve that you didn't know you had, and you had to tap into this inner strength that you didn't know was there, and
Yeah.
you survive. And so I feel like whether you are a survivor of child abuse, or maybe you're a survivor of substance abuse or domestic violence or lupus or cancer or MS or all the other horrible things that this world throws at us, you're a
Yeah.
survivor. And I feel like your agency embodies that, just that because we are human, we are innately survivors. Do you see that as well? Is that something that you purposely do, or is that something that just kind of accidentally happened?
Oh man, me adding so many things. Sometimes I'm like, why did I do that? because because I
Yeah.
first of all, I don't turn people away. There's someone in my group who I'm very involved with who has epilepsy, so I don't turn anyone away. But at one point, I was like, what did I do? Like I really overloaded myself. But I'm starting to see this. I'm just starting to see that it's just meant. One, cancer survivors, they, like, when I say took over, majority of the people are cancer survivors, and it was like a whole thing about the wigs because they needed hair, and they don't
Yeah.
have their natural eyebrows and things like that. And so I've been providing the pencils so they can draw on their eyebrows. So I was like, I know it was meant for me to help cancer survivors because that's majority of my group. MS
Yes.
is a more personal experience for me, and lupus, it came about because I know a couple of people with lupus, and I was like, why not? They need
Yeah.
someone.
Right.
Somebody's got to do it. So yeah, there's times where I felt overwhelmed with like supporting
Yes.
four different survivors, but I'm here for it. I don't regret it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you open to new survivors of new tragedies to reach out to you and say, hey, how can we build a platform to support other people like me?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to help human trafficking victims. That's under
Oh,
domestic violence, but it's a little
yes.
different.
Yeah.
But I have been thinking of a way to make it clear that I'm open to whoever, needs my
Yeah.
assistance. But I'm only one person, but Cuts for Survivors is just getting started. I see big things. So yeah,
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
definitely, I'm here for it.
That's amazing. So you're based out of where?
Metro Detroit area. So Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
hmm
Do you only provide services in that area or do you provide services support across the country?
Across the country. A lot of mailing, gift bags, hygiene
Yeah.
bags, wigs, and things like that. I
Amazing.
have people from California to Texas to Florida. Yep, Chicago. So yeah, I love that part because I would feel like I'm not reaching everyone that I could if it was just here in
Yeah.
Michigan.
Right, right. Yeah. I think that's the thing about those of us with a helping heart. We don't Number one, we don't understand the word no and we struggle with boundaries. So
Yeah.
because we do just want to help the world. We're sitting here today on this podcast because our heart of hearts tells us that we want to make this world a better place to live. And so we set out to do that however we can. And saying no to something just doesn't seem like the way to make a positive change, but I know, and I know, but I think it's important to reiterate that we have to take care of ourselves because if we're not good, nobody else is good either. And I think, I'm preaching to the choir on this, but you already know when you're burning the candle at both ends, you're gonna at some point your flame's going to go out. So for
Yeah.
anybody watching, for anybody watching that's planning on, joining the crusade, please take care of your mental health because
Yes.
this is not work for the weary at all.
Not at all.
Yeah. So what's next for Cuts for Survivors? What You just recently became a nonprofit. You're going through the final stages of that as far as, bureaucratic red tape and all of the involves the government. So at that point, where do you see yourself? What's next for you?
Definitely building and reaching more people. Um,
Okay.
I would like to get feedback and see results from the new things that I provide, like the workout, the makeup
Yes.
classes, and the facials. Also, I also provide the meditation routine as far as like a playlist and a diffuser with the essential oils to help with like stress relief. So I would like to get feedback from that. You know, um,
Okay. Okay.
that that's pretty much what's going on right now. That's what's new and what's next. I'm hoping eventually one day I can have a salon slash resource center. Um,
Amazing.
that's that's the plan.
Amazing. Amazing. So, if people who are watching want to get involved with Cuts for Survivors, whether they want to get involved as a volunteer, maybe they want to support you financially, or maybe they want to tap into the services that you offer, how do they go about getting a hold of you?
Well, they can visit cutsforsurvivors.org. They can also
Okay.
yep, and they can also email me at cutsforsurvivors@gmail.com. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Cuts for Survivors, and my phone number is 586-646-8598. And that's my direct line.
That's amazing. I did just drop the website into the comments on this thread. So for anybody that's watching and you have questions for Katrina, you want to get involved, like I said, whether you want to support her financially, I'm sure she would wrap her arms around you and give you a big hug for that. Or if you want to become a volunteer, if you know somebody that would benefit from these services, from the support, reach out to her. Is your contact information on your website, your phone number, email, and all of that? You can get that from the website?
Yeah, it should be. If not, it's definitely on Facebook.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And I will, when we get off of here, I will link all of that in the comments for anybody that may want to tap into that and reach out to you and have a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm really grateful that our paths crossed. We are definitely sisters on the same mission, and I am so grateful for people like you.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I'm so grateful for you as well. I definitely support what you're doing. It's amazing, and you're a brave woman, and you've also influenced me as well.
I love that camaraderie that we've and that's what I'm saying. We are a sisterhood of survivors of a lot of different things, and there's always room for one more. So let this just be an invitation to anybody watching, to join us on this journey of making this world a better place to be. There's so many negative things out there, and I think if we focus on how we can uplift and support one another a little bit more, we can offset some of that, if not all of that negativity. I'm a big fan of optimism. So let's
Yeah,
spread sunshine for sure.
I love
All
it.
right. Are there any thoughts that you want to leave us with, Katrina?
I just want to say to all survivors, you survived, and now it's time to thrive.
Amen. Amen. I love that. I love that. All right. Well, that is a wrap. Short and sweet tonight. I definitely wanted to give Katrina some airtime because I am a huge proponent of what it is she's doing. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the inclusivity. I love that Cuts for Survivors really is for anybody. If you're a human, you belong there. I just feel like there's no limit to who can be helped by this phenomenal organization. And I just want to tell you, girl, I am so proud of you because you said, I'm going to become a nonprofit, and you did that. You took that bull by the horns and you said, let's make this happen. And you haven't looked back. Prior to going live, you and I were talking in the back studio, and you were telling me, you hired a lawyer, you've got an attorney doing all your financial things for you and your legalese and all your governmental kind of thing. And I'm like, girl, look at you. Like, that is inspirational. And in my motto for what I do is empower, inspire, educate. And I'm telling you, I am both empowered and inspired by you. And I learn from you daily. So it's incredible to have people like you in this world, and to call you a sister is just, it's such an honor. So thank
Wow,
you.
thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank you.
what you
I
do.
appreciate you.
I truly appreciate you as well. So that's it for Let's Talk tonight. We will be back on the 29th, same time, same station. I think that was a line from Batman back in the day. Same bat station, same bat time, something cheesy like that. Anyway, 7 o'clock Eastern, we go live each and every time that this is scheduled. And if you can't catch the live, no worries. You can catch us on the repeat. One of the things that I'm going to do tonight, because I like to put my money where my mouth is, I said how, I want us to build this sisterhood, this community, and it doesn't have to be just female. I'm open to the men joining us as well, because men deal with a lot of things that are taboo to talk about. So I
Yeah.
would love to build this community. And what I'm going to do is put a code in the comments for Starbucks. And I want you guys to have a Starbucks on me. And I want you to share this video to your timeline so we can get the message out there about what it is Katrina's doing, what it is I'm doing, and why we sit down twice a month to have these podcasts. It's not just about operating fancy equipment and branding it with my colors and my logo and all that fun stuff. I mean, of course, I love that because I'm a girly girl and I love all the pizzazz, but it's also about making a difference. And so I would love for you guys to share the message. So look for that in the comments and have a coffee on me and share this video. All right. That's all I've got for tonight. You guys be good to one another and be safe out there. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone.